Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Friday the 2nd of February. So looking at the euro dollar first, and well, yesterday ended up with a really solid upward day there. Now whether this can continue we'll see. It's not too far short of the previous highs there, and certainly we could see a continuation. However, looking through, we've got non-farm payrolls coming out today, so we'll see whether the market does its fancy consolidation lead up to that. I expect some movement perhaps first thing this morning, but thereafter it generally softens up just until non-farms. But of course we may get speakers or anything else, anyone else that may want to chip in. At the moment you can see just consolidating across this last 8 hours, slightly to the downside, although we just had a bit of a spike up there. We have got the daily pivot below us, which has a chance of being broken. If we see that occur, we could see the daily pivot hit. Now, we had a couple of tests yesterday after 21, exponential moving average there. We could have a retest of those today, and we still see yet another bounce. So a little bit wary, but as ever, there's always a possibility of that pivot being hit. Again, a bit like yesterday really, trend wise there's a trend line across the tops here. You could be drawing break of that level, could be looking for further and new highs, new near term highs. Okay, that's the euro dollar. The pound dollar. The pound this morning, we've got average, we've got the construction PMI coming out this morning on the pound. Now that's at 9:30. Now it's a variable number. It's not as powerful as either manufacturing or services, but all the same, it's out at 9:30. So we may get some volatility around that. Now we had a pivot swing in the previous day. Yesterday saw a continuation of that move. We've broken the shoulders of the previous candles, etc. It's pushed up higher. And close up higher, so this is the highest close we've had for quite some time, and well, there's nothing really saying we wouldn't see a continuation. We have got to run into a little bit of resistance around there with the pivots, a combination of pivots sitting there, and it's been quite a solid move. Now really again looking to see if it corrects back. It's just sitting on its hourly 21 at the moment. If it breaks that this time, I mean it did break a couple of times yesterday, and looked like it might have actually, particularly in the later morning session when it started rolling over, it looked like it may roll over properly. It's had some real solid corrections within the last week in terms of some of these moves. I say quite solid corrections. Obviously not coming down to make it a lower high, but and we have gone in and continued with a higher lows. So really the trend is a solid trend in terms of bullish trend. Already touched yesterday's highs, double topped into yesterday's highs here. Again, we've got a daily pivot. We break this 21, well the daily pivot looks like almost like a certainty, or as close as you get to a certainty of being hit, maybe, but it'll probably be quite quick if it does. As I say, we've got the news out which could scupper things a little bit anyway, just push them through. We haven't hit the hourly 50 for some time. Maybe that would be a target if it starts breaking through that pivot and correcting a little bit more. Okay, that's the pound dollar yen. So dollar yen yesterday continued its correction to the upside there. It's softening whilst the other markets is going sort of counter. It's lost its negative correlation with the pound and the euro at the moment, and it's actually can continue to push to the upside at the moment. So it may be chasing down that monthly pivot. Looking at the shorter time frames, well, we've already hit the daily pivot, the R1. It doesn't leave a lot to be hit apart from that monthly pivot potentially to the upside. Now, yesterday we sort of up until 11 o'clock. We had a solid move through, and then it rolled over for a while, but it's still got the potential of further upside here by looking at the higher lows, higher highs. So trend certainly in this current intermediate trend is up. Aussie dollar. Now the Aussie dollar's had a bit more of a correction, and just like the yen, it's softened, and Yesterday it did manage a bit of a bounce back, but it's still softened as suggested. Well, it was near enough there when it happened. As I said, there was a high probability of that monthly pivot being hit. Well, that's hit, and it's now provided some sort of support. It is this morning at least. It broke it yesterday. From the intermediate time frame, it's got lower highs and lower lows on some of this movement, and it doesn't look particularly strong. Already caught a daily pivot, S1. Maybe it'll break some more, but it may have to wait until non-farm payrolls before the fireworks start. But it does look weaker, I should say. Canadian dollar continued to strengthening, a bit more in line with the euro and the pound here. Continued to strengthening yesterday. It wasn't particularly, and it has become quite choppy, so not particularly convincing altogether, but a bit choppy. It had shown the signs in the earlier part of the day of shoving upwards and continuing, but come later it sort of recovered after 11 o'clock there and came all the way back down to its S1 in line with the sort of trend that sits there. As I said, it's very choppy, but in general we've got these lower highs. Lower highs. Well, we were having a few lower lows, but not really convinced that this being a higher low yet until we either break the previous highs here or roll lower, in which case we'll see lower lows as well. Right, okay, so again, already daily pivot hit. It's just really a case here how things shape up this morning. If it starts rolling, we could be on for the S1 at some point. Okay, that's pretty much it. As I said today, key news, 9:30 construction PMI, and then 1:30 we've got the non-farm payrolls. Particular attention will be drawn to the average hourly earnings, which are forecast to come in slightly lower than last time. Have a great one. Bye for now.